we finally move on to the pretty journal entry. Probation revocation journal entry has been changed quite a bit, and that's to reflect, certainly, as you might imagine, the 2170. The main points on this one, again, we've got the drug offense back in here. Down at the bottom of the screen, you've got your reminder, just like we did on the other ones. Since we don't have the heading changed, because if it happened in 2013, it happened in 2013, so there wasn't any need to change that. The back page is the one that is probably of most interest to you. Section 3 there at the top specifically talks about what happened. What's the history of this case with regard to violation sanctions? So, as I told you, we have 9. So if there was ever any possible way that you could do 9 two-day jail sanctions, it's represented here, as well as that of who actually imposed that, whether it was the court or the supervising officer. You've got your 120 and 180. You've got a comment section in here too. This is a good time for me to give a big plug for that comment section, and that is whether it be the PSI, whether it be the journal entry of sentencing, whether it be the probation revocation journal entry. We want you to be able to communicate with everybody else that you're working with on these cases, whether it be defense attorney, prosecutor, the court, or each other in your respective offices. If you need to write comments on the journal entry, go ahead and do it. If you need to write something on the PSI that you're not sure about, so you can notify the parties as to what's going on, well, I think special rule, whatever applies because of this, write it down. Write it down. Put it in there. We're not going to call you up and say, man, that really was a sloppy PSI. No. Write it in there. Then you give defense counsel notice, you give prosecutor notice, and you give the court notice. So when they can come in, they actually have the idea of where you're coming from. So that then they can, as Judge Johnson says, let the lawyers lawyer and the judge judge. You do your job, and they can do theirs. And the whole spirit of communication of I'm included. We're not going to, those spaces, the comment spaces, if you can find other spaces in there to put things in the PSI or whatever else, do so. That helps you, that helps them, and it helps at the end of the day, when we actually get them in our office, it helps us too, so we can have some idea of looking at a cold journal entry, just exactly what happened in these situations. So please, I encourage you to do that. Again, Section 4 is disposition of the revocation hearing. What happened? We restructured this to include the sanctions that are available to you, and we tried to do it from least to greatest, so that there is no finding of a violation. You check the box and go on. So that kind of gives you we've had questions, why do you keep putting in the conservation camp KDOC drug treatment program? It's a great question. The problem is it's still in statute. It has not been taken out, and therefore we still need to include it, even though KDOC does not fund the treatment program, and the last time I checked, I think they were making the bed into a geriatric unit. So probably no conservation stuff going on there. It will stay there as a gentle reminder, but at the same time, those two certainly are not used. So if you're ever wondering about that, that's the case. Again, we've changed. This is statutory language again, the modification that you were talking about. And so if there's whatever the reason is, again, that's an important part as well, because we're able to then find out just exactly why sanctions are being given for what particular violations. Incarceration credit again. Jail credit has been changed to provide for the KDOC sanctions. And then some attorneys actually wanted to know what the days potentially available are, so we've included that. And then again, as we talked about before, the house arrest has been been added for time.